Hey guys, Dr. Decks here. Today we are going to talk about the Heatcon heat forming kit. It's essential that you have one of these, at least one of these, to be able to manipulate PVC decking products. Primarily we use AZEK decking. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe today. This is a brief description of the product. We're not going to get into how-tos. You're going to have to catch our video series on deck board bending, which will be available for purchase in 2020. All right, but here today I'm just going to explain to you the equipment and how to obtain that and a little bit about it, okay? All right, so here we go. Okay, so first of all, what Heatcon is, what the company Heatcon is basically an aerospace technology company. They make silicone heating blankets for various reasons, for repairing carbon fiber and for forming carbon fiber. They also work on windmill carbon fiber, Lamborghini carbon fiber, but they also do a lot of other heating elements and things like that. But primarily what we're interested in is the silicone heating blankets, all right? These things right here. This is what's gonna allow you to do all those trick curves and swoops and shapes in your deck designs that everybody's so hot for nowadays, and that, I implement in every deck I try to build. So what one heat forming kit includes is one control box, one set of blankets, which are two 10-foot blankets, one set of heat gloves that you can use. Like these are like UV gloves, kind of. All right, I think these are my brand, but they come with a set. A temperature probe, and this really nifty set of directions. You're not going to need those because you're going to join the masses that are going to sign up and learn how to bend decking through the Dr. Decks heat bending class. So the instructions are great. It's good for an overview, but we're not going to get into that again today, but just so you know, okay? So what we do is we have the silicone heating blankets. They're 10 feet long. Obviously, they're flexible, okay? So there's two of them in each kit. And you can see cautions hot. They're labeled on. I use those on the outside. The caution hot is always on the outside. So what happens here is you have some insulation on the floor, then you have one heating blanket, and then you have your piece of material that you're trying to manipulate, then another heating blanket, and then more insulation. It's like an insulation sandwich. The heating blankets, the newer ones, I don't know if you can see this. Studio man, can you see this? See this right here? Okay, that's a temperature probe. You see the little X? That has to be touching the material. It tells the control box at what temperature the material is being heated at. Inside of the blanket, there's two parts to it. One is power, to power up the elements, and then this is the probe. The probe goes in and goes into the blanket where I showed you. And these both plug into the control box. So there's an outlet in the control box, like so, okay? So to run one blanket, you have to plug this in here and screw it in, and plug this into right here, and then the other blanket plugs into this side. So it's kind of like there's a right and a left, or a top and a bottom, or whatever. Doesn't matter which side you plug it into. They both work the same, okay? So we'll get more into that heating box in a minute. I want to kind of finish explaining the blankets. So if you catch the light right, and I don't know if you can see it or not, but you can see all the little heating elements inside of the blanket. Is there any way you can see that, Cal? Yeah, maybe we'll do a close-up. Sometimes on the other end I can find them because when they make these, they don't put the elements all the way to the very end of the blanket. In some kits, it's easier to find than others. This one actually goes until about 1/4 inch. Where my finger is where the elements actually stop. So sometimes if you're doing longer boards, like 20-footers, you gotta overlap your blankets a little bit, or you're gonna have a cold spot. If you overlap your blankets too much, you're gonna burn up your blankets. We don't wanna do that either. So I'm just trying to kind of give you guys a rundown on the actual silicone heating blankets. Now, like I said before, you're going to need at least one heat manipulation kit to do this. I have 8 of these. because I can do up to 4 20-footers at the same time if I want, which you're hustling if you're trying to do that many boards at once. You got to have forms and all that stuff set up. But so those are the heat blankets. Now the control box, I have a bunch of these as well, and you plug in everything to here. And then for PVC, for AZEK PVC, usually lately we have not been using the input 3, which is the side input right here. This goes in and monitors the core temperature of your plank. When we get into learning how to bend cap composites, this is going to be crucial. Cap composites are much harder to bend than PVC deck boards are. Okay, so what this does is you drill a hole in the side of your board, in your cap composite board, you insert this, and it monitors the core temperature of the board and raises the temperature of the plank accordingly, so that you can kind of rise the core temperature with hopefully without destroying the cap stock of the plank. Cap composites are much harder to manipulate and much harder to heat properly than a PVC deck board. There's a huge difference and a huge time investment when you want to start bending cap composites. And again, we're going to get into all of that in our heat bending class. So I encourage you to stay tuned. We'll be blasting that information out. We're going to be shooting the video series in late December, and then hopefully have those edited and up sometime in January. All right, so I'm going to plug this box in and just give you a quick digital rundown on it. So one thing I'm going to warn you guys is, see how thick this cord is? I don't suggest using something like this when you want to heat something with your blankets. This isn't going to work. You're going to blow circuits, blow power. It's always best if you can plug this right into the wall. You could get by with a 15 amp circuit, but if you're going to run more than one box, you better look for a 20 amp circuit or 2 20 amp circuits to run your heat forming kit on, because usually it ain't going to cut it. But for demonstration purposes, I'm going to use this cheap extension cord. So as soon as you plug it in, it beeps. That's common, but to actually turn the box on, you got to hit the on-off button. All right, and then it's going to go through a default sequence, revision, blah, blah, blah. And then it's going to ask you, are you bending PVC or decking? Depending on what you're bending will determine what you choose. So just for today, we're going to say, yeah, you know what, we're bending PVC. Hit the check mark. It goes into a pre-programmed temperature. Now this is way too hot for most bends, okay? This is actually a PVC. When this box asks you, are you bending PVC or decking, it's referring to PVC trim, not PVC decking. It's saying, are you bending PVC trim or are you bending PVC decking? I'll get into that information when you check out our video series, okay? But for now, we're just going to choose that side of the thing so I can explain to you this box. So, okay. So the goal temperature, we're going to drop it down. Let's just say, oh yeah, about, you know, I'm going to make it way high, 250, because I want to burn my materials up, okay? So 250, and I hit the green check mark. And then it's going to ask you, okay, how long do you want to stay at that temperature for? Like, all right. So the default setting is 8 minutes. When you take our course, I'm going to explain to you where I think you should set these boxes. This is all an educated guess, but by doing the video series, you're going to learn what's important and how to avoid losing $100 bills, okay? That's my goal, is if you buy my course, then you'll learn how to not destroy $1,000 worth of supplies on your first outing. It'll be awesome. We'll both be happy, okay? So, I'm just going to say, you know what, I'm going to raise this up to 10 minutes. That's not the time I usually use, but it's just for video reasons. And then I hit the check mark again. So we're saying, okay, we're going to heat this plank 250 degrees for 10 minutes. So what you're going to do, if I hit the check mark, this box is going to air out because I don't have the blankets hooked up to it and all that stuff. Let's just see what happens for giggles, okay? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so it's a read failure because I don't have anything plugged in. All right, so just because educated minds want to know, right? Let's go ahead and hook one of these up. I'm only going to hook up one for now, and we'll kind of get into that again later. One side. Now the box should work. Ah, all right. So now we're heating, but we're only heating one blanket because I only have one hooked up. But there you go. So now this blanket is going to start warming up to these predetermined temperatures. And that's basically what this heat forming kit does. It's very simple controls. You're very limited on what you can do with it until you get into some advanced maneuvers, which we'll talk about in the future. Like I said before, I don't recommend any other brand of heat forming kit. I don't recommend that you use any other type or any other off-brand or anybody else that's using some other type of controller. Heatcon, for me, in my opinion, is the #1 heat forming kit available. It's the one I would use. I wouldn't recommend using anything else. Unless you get into liquid immersion, which will be a chapter in our online course for you to learn about. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like what you saw, please click that subscribe button. If you want to be notified every time we're putting out fresh content, hit that bell icon as well. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.